8 or 9. We're still kind of unsure about that, but we're leaning towards he just turned 9 June 13th, which is his birthday, so that's really cool. So next question, what breed of dog? Strider was a lab mixed with some kind of a hound. We're not really sure about what kind of a hound, but he was mixed with a hound. What did Strider die of? Good question. Strider had some kind of a cancer. We weren't really sure. We thought it was a brain cancer. Not really a cancer, actually. It was more of like a tumor in the meninges part of his brain, I believe. So it's like the outer skull, I guess. And so yeah, we like had thought he had that, and then along with that, he just had some other like skin and thyroid problems, and he also got a rather large wound on I think it was his left like bottom shoulder, and that had just set everything off as well because it got infected and the cancer spread to his lungs, and it was horrific. So that is what he died of. So natural causes, I guess you could say. Did you put him to sleep? No, actually, there's an interesting story about that. So, actually, we were going to put him to sleep because my family had just made the decision that he was suffering. He, couldn't get up. He was immobilized. It wasn't good, and it was really bad. So we made the choice to put him down. So we had an appointment for the vet to come to our house to put him down. And that day that the vet was coming was actually a very sad day. That was the day that he died, obviously. And I remember the vet was about 5 or 10 minutes away. I think she was like 5 minutes away, and then Strider got into severely bad condition. He was breathing heavily, just coughing, and we were really scared he was going to die. And so I was in the room, and my mom was next to him, and my mom's like, Abby, I think you should leave. I don't think, you want to see this. So I was like, okay. And then she came to me and she said, Abby, Strider has passed. And so I was like, oh, okay, that's, obviously I was really sad and whatever. And then I was like, what are we going to say to the vet? And it was actually a miracle. And because Strider felt maybe the vet was coming and he just wanted to pass on his own. He wanted it to be natural. So he went on to heaven and Jesus took him away, and he's waiting at the Rainbow Bridge for us. So also a little bit about that. About 5 minutes before the vet came, I believe, we anointed his head with this like Jesus oil that my mom has, and we just like put a cross on his head, and he passed right after that. His passing was a little bit horrific. He did my mom told me to leave the room, but of course I was just like, okay, I'll leave, and then I just like peeked through like the door. What? Yeah, I'm making a video. Sorry. So, yeah. And what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So yeah, he was just like, the passing wasn't fun for him, for any of us. And, I don't really want to get too graphic here, but, he did kind of choke on all of the fluids because the cancer had like spread to his lungs, and just the fluids, he was just coughing them up, and he choked on them, and he took his last breath, and he groaned, and he was gone. So yeah. How long was it since the death, and when was it? Those are kind of the same questions, I guess. I'll just give you like the date, and you can go from there, because today is August 8th, if I uploaded it today. Maybe you're watching it August 9th, maybe you're watching it in 2013, and if you are, good for you. But, yeah. So, Strider passed away May 23rd, at 12:55 on a Wednesday, May 23rd. Yeah, it was a Wednesday, and today is Wednesday, so it is Wednesday. Yeah, and May 23rd, I think. And yeah. Did you love him? Yeah. Okay, next question. What was his favorite thing to do? Strider's favorite thing to do mainly was swimming. He was a big water dog. And Strider would go and like chase after Ranger, and they'd like play around and fight and whatever, and it was just the cutest thing in the world. So yeah. Before he passed. Yes, he was. He was actually on an anti-inflammatory, and I believe it was called, oh, I don't know. It started with a P, and I will put it right here. So, and basically it was an anti-inflammatory medicine, and it just helped with the swelling of, you know, the tumor in his meninges. So yeah. He was on that, and then, also just a couple other medicines. He was on the Siloxane, 4.5 mg, I think, tablets, Siloxane, and then I think he was on something that started with a T, like taxbetadrite or taxadirdurite, and I have 2 flyaways. Okay. Whoopsies. Okay. Next question, I think this is question number, I don't know, I've lost complete track. When, or how old were you when you first got started? I think I was 4? No. I'm really not sure. It was a long time ago. I was either 2, 3, 4, or 5. And, I don't really know how old I was, to be honest. To be completely honest with you, I have no idea. I will put how old I was right here after I figure it out. Okay. Did Strider ever participate in any events such as agility, rally, or professional obedience? No, Strider did not. He was extremely obedient, don't get me wrong, but we never really went into that, like I'm going into agility with Ranger, and I kind of wish now that I had, but I was kind of young. I mean, yeah, I was kind of young when we had him. He was basically like, I had a dog and his name was Bobo, and he was kind of like my babyhood dog, I guess you could say. Like, I had him all throughout my baby years and a little bit into my toddler years. And then Strider was basically my childhood dog. He was there for me ever since I was little and growing up into a teenager. And Ranger is kind of like my teenager through adulthood dog, because he's only 3, so he's got some time left. So yeah, and I've really enjoyed having dogs there throughout all 3 stages of my life, and I hope I have them everywhere because they're just amazing. Yeah. Okay. What was Strider's main diet? Strider's diet was really confusing because we had him on lots of things, but I will list his diet in like the description or whatever, because it's descriptive. So, next and third to last question. Does Strider like water? Yes, Strider did love water. He was a complete water dog, obsessed with water. I don't know if I kind of already answered this. What was his passing like? I already answered that. So like, if you want to go like 5 minutes down the road. Okay, next question. How did you deal with Strider's passing, and how did your family / Ranger deal with Strider's passing? So I was healed by Jesus. a little bit, and as you know, I am a Christian. I'm not like a crazy Christian who's like praying every night. I don't go to church every Sunday, but I am a Christian. I do believe in Jesus Christ, and I do pray to him. So I think he healed me a little bit with prayer and, you know, all of that. And I was just healed by Ranger. I think he had a big impact on it, and so did little Rocco. So yeah. My family, you know, my brother's like 15 or 16, and he was very, very sad, but he's not a, you know, he's a dude, so he doesn't really show his emotions as much. Me and my mom talked a lot about it. My mom was really sad, and so was my dad. But of course, you know, he has that manly side, so, you know, they're obviously going to hide their feelings a lot more than us women. And how did Ranger take it? Ranger was weird with it. He had a couple of days where he was like, you know, the first few days after his Strider was passing, he was like, "Where's my buddy?" Because they were good friends, and I could tell that he was a little bit like, "Where's Strider?" And he could, you know, and we tested him a little bit. We would like call out, we'd say Strider, and he would look, and he'd be like, he'd do that little head turn thing where dogs do. They're like, huh, and then turn their head when they're confused. So yeah, I think he took it well. He took it pretty well for, but his breed of dog isn't really loyal, I guess. I mean, Huskies are loyal, but it's different. I'll get into that. Maybe I'll do a video all about Siberian Huskies. Request it. Okay. And the last question. I don't know how to answer this. Okay. So. Okay, so the very last question is, did you bury or cremate Strider, or did you have him taxidermated, or cryomated? Okay, we had him buried, in our backyard. We are planning on moving in a year or two, and I was against that, like, completely. I was like, no, I don't want to bury him because we're moving, and I wanted him to be with us forever. So I thought cremation, we can have him in like a little urn, and he'll be there forever. But my parents thought really different about that, and so did my brother, and they all said burial. So we basically just buried Mr. Strider in our backyard. So he is in our backyard, and yeah. So yeah, we had him buried. Okay guys, so this video was quite long, and I hope it got some of your guys' questions answered and whatever you guys wanted. And yeah. And okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment, like, subscribe, and whatever. And I will see you guys in the next video, which I believe my next video is going to be a room tour. So be on the eye for my room tour, okay? So see you guys later. Bye!